Hi friends, it's Madame Fromage, and today I want to introduce you to my favorite winter comfort cheese. It is classic English Stilton. Now, the Italians have iconic Gorgonzola, the French have iconic Roquefort, and Stilton is the iconic blue of England. Easy way to remember it. To me, it has always been a favorite cheese this time of year because it pairs so well with things like winter fruits, pears, apples, particular, chutney, very English, oat biscuits. I love this as a combination with little Stilton, oaty biscuits, some honey, and nuts, especially walnuts. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the background about Stilton because it's got a really interesting story, and then a few drink pairings that you can use to share with friends. So Stilton comes from a village of Stilton, which is on the road between London and Edinburgh, Scotland. And back in the 1700s, when travelers were traveling by stagecoach, Stilton was the stop on the way. So travelers would stop, disembark from their coach, go into one of the local hotels and be fed a Stilton made by one of the village women. And Stilton became so known as a place for cheese making that even William Defoe, the writer, wrote about it in his travel tales. Now, chances are the Stilton he had and the one he described looked nothing like the cheese you see here today. It did evolve over time. And in the 1990s, Stilton became a protected recipe. So there are a few things that you should know about it and some things to look for when you taste it. So Stilton is still made around that village. In fact, only 3 counties can make it legally. So Stilton is always English, and it's always from one of those 3 counties using that local milk. There are about 9 dairies now that make a Stilton. It's always made in a drum shape. It's always blue, a blue cheese, and it always has a natural rind. Now, there's a great British writer named Patricia Michelson who wrote a book called The Cheese Room, the first cheese book I ever read, and it made me fall in love with the language around cheese. And she had this great description for the texture of Stilton. She says you should always think of it like a biscuit. It has a biscuity, nubby rind, as you can see here. It's beautiful. And then the paste, or the center of the cheese, she said, should be very moist and biscuit crumbly. So I've cut some, and you can see it's a cheese that when you shave it with a knife breaks apart, and that's the desired texture. But when you put it on your tongue, it's absolutely gorgeous, just rich and creamy. Something about Stilton always reminds me of going into the library where I went as a child, and there were leather-bound books and leather chairs, and when I smell this, I want to curl up and read. It's a beautiful cheese. I would say it has a medium to strong flavor. I sometimes get a little pipe tobacco and really rich cream. It's just beautiful. Gonna love how creamy it is. You can definitely spread it on one of these oaty biscuits. You add a little honey or chutney on top, and it's just gorgeous. If you have leftovers, I love to put this cheese on top of a salad made of endive with some apples or pears and some walnuts. It's simply gorgeous. To me, this is a wonderful after dinner or dessert cheese. Also just a wonderful little cheese for a private snack plate. If you're, say, sitting on your couch under a blanket in the evening and you want a little nibble of something, maybe you open a little port, maybe you pour a little whiskey. This cheese goes with dark drinks, whiskey, scotch, deep ruby port. Also great with black tea, like an English breakfast tea with a little cream and honey, in my opinion. If you're not imbibing, think dark chocolate as another pairing. Anything that's on the sweet side goes well with a savory cheese like this. And you should feel free to raid your pantry for other things that you think might work. I hope you get a chance to try Stilton if you haven't already. Like I said, it's a supremely cozy cheese. English goes with British books, English movies that are popular right now. And it's just a really fun heritage cheese to explore. Madame Fromage signing you off with one of the great English cheeses. Thanks again to my sponsor of this series, iloveimportedcheese.com. Check them out on Instagram, visit their website for a whole list of cheeses from around the world that are wonderful to explore. Cheers.